politics is messed up, man. We've got corruption like crazy. And it's not even that we expect our politicians to be not corrupt. I think we've just come to a position where it's like women, when you're thinking of your men looking at other women, you can't have a zero tolerance policy. You've got to be realistic. You just don't want a criminal amount. So we're like, we don't want you not to be corrupt. Just don't take too much, huh? And I met a politician. He was so corrupt. He was my uncle. He was so corrupt. He didn't even hide it. He was proud. I remember we went to visit his house. He had a BMW. He called all us children over. He said, you see this car? Sweden. I was like, no, BMW, that's a German car. He's like, no, you don't understand. I buy this car with the money from Sweden. I was like, but the money that Sweden gave Malawi, wasn't that meant to be used for the schools and the education? He was like, no. You don't understand. When I was a small boy, big school, one school book. The teacher, she read the book, she tell us what it's like. So now, 50 school, I buy 50 school book. I give them one. With the change, I buy this car. And I was like, that's horrible. You could do other things with the money. You could raise the salaries of the teachers. You could buy computers. I was like, no. All my life, everybody, they dream to have BMW. We cannot give everyone BMW. So I buy it. I drive it. I tell them what it's like. England, right? Because you know where the minority is there, right? And people always ask me, do I get a lot of racism, right? I get some subtle racism. Like sometimes I go into a store, they panic like I'm gonna steal something. I don't let it bother me. I just have a bit of fun. I just go, can you help me? I want to steal this. But racism happens in all directions. It even happened in my own family. A friend of mine from Denmark, white guy, was going backpacking across Africa, decided to pass through Malawi. All of my uncles got excited. They're like, you're bringing a white man here. One of my uncles called me and said, your friend, he must stay with me. Don't worry. I can cook rice. I think he figured white people need to eat white food. So I let him stay with my rice uncle. After 2 days, he's looking upset. I said, what's wrong? He said, I think you give me defective white man. I was like, what do you mean he's defective? He said, your friend, he acts just like us. I said, what did you expect? He said, I thought he was going to do some crazy white shit. Then I have a story. And I love my uncle. So I went to Mateus. I said, hey, Mateus, over the next few days, can you just do a little crazy white shit? He said, no, I'm the first white man he's ever met. I think it's very important that I don't live up to any false stereotypes. I said, Mateus, you're not paying for food. You're not paying for accommodation. The least you can do is some crazy white shit. So he slept with my uncle's wife. And then he took his land. And then he made him a Christian. I haven't always been a comedian. I did some weird jobs. I used to clean houses, and I'll admit I was tempted to steal. I didn't steal because the Bible says, thou shalt not steal, but nowhere does it say, thou shalt not swap. I took a stereo, left a Walkman. Took a plasma screen, left an Etch-a-Sketch. As I mentioned, I am from Africa. I moved here 10 years ago. And immediately I moved here, I heard a lot of British people talking about the financial crisis, the recession. I'm from Africa. What are you maniacs talking about? You call that a crisis? If that's a crisis, where is UNICEF? Where is Bono? I have not seen one save the UK concert. You can tell me it's a financial crisis when there are planes flying over Birmingham tossing fish and chips out the window. It will be a financial crisis when there are ads on television saying this chav has to walk 5 miles a day to get a bottle of WKD Blue. 100%. You have got a financial crisis when India starts opening call centers here. Can you imagine some poor guy in Mumbai calls his bank, ends up talking to a Brahmi? Thank you so much, Brahmi. And I've been in the UK a while. I was tricked into moving here. I was tricked because I was watching television and I saw an angry guy came on television and he said, oh, these immigrants take all the good jobs, all the good women. I was like, wow, that's what I'm looking for. Sometimes comedy, it's hard to laugh sometimes because the news is full of depressing stuff. But I think the thing is, it's misleading because amazing things happen every day, little acts of kindness, but they don't report it. They put it on page 10, they open with the doom and gloom. If the BBC News was a mate of yours, you'd never go over. Look, I'm not going to that depressing barbecue. I'm gonna hang out with Cartoon Network. But it's an amazing time to be alive. People say stuff like, I miss the good old days. The good old days were terrible. We've got amazing stuff. We've got Wi-Fi. Yeah. We've got rights. Women can vote. Yeah. I'm black. 200 years ago, this would have been an auction. We've come a long way, that's all I'm saying. But even with the doom and gloom, the Malawian press is a lot worse than your press here. I'll tell you. Like, I did the first ever comedy show in Malawi, which isn't an accomplishment. I'm the only stand-up comedian, right? And I called the local press and said, send a reporter. The editor said, why don't you write the review yourself? Huh? You give me some money, I will say we wrote it. I was disgusted by the total lack of integrity in the Malawian press. But wow, that was the best review I ever got. 7 stars! He's a genius! The African Michael McIntyre! But it's crazy I'm on television right now because my ex always felt I wasn't ambitious enough. She always used to be like, you're a comedian, come on, be more ambitious. I said, hey, I'm happy. She said, you're not happy. I said, I think I'm happy. She said, no, be more ambitious. I did not sign up for somebody who's going nowhere. I snapped. I told her, look, you knew I wasn't ambitious the day we met. Of all the women in the bar, I approached you. Yeah, you're laughing. I'm single now. And I am looking for love, I'll admit. I'm looking for love. You know, gotta get that citizenship, you know. But it's hard to date on a budget. I remember going for a date and the woman made a lot more money than me, which isn't a problem. We're in the 21st century, but I was ashamed. I remember the waiter came up, assumed I was gonna pay. Put the bill in front of me, I had to go, I'll get the next one. I felt so pathetic watching her pay. I wanted so badly to be part of the transaction. So I just took the change. I don't understand the British. I saw a beautiful British woman looking at a mirror upset. I said, what's going on? She said, can't you see? It's a fat mirror. I was like, what do you mean the mirror's fat? She said, this mirror makes me look fatter than I really am. I said, wow, I think my eyes have the same problem. I was not mocking her. Don't be angry with me. It was a cultural misunderstanding. I'm from Africa. It's different. When we see someone overweight, we don't think go on a diet. We're more like, where did you get the food? I think we gotta follow her home. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.